Ladies and gentlemen, in this session, our guests will be speaking on legendary webinar copywriting secrets. If you don't know who Jim Edwards is, he helps authors, coaches, speakers, and entrepreneurial professionals leverage the power of AI to save time and create amazing ads, sales letters, and emails. Jim is widely known for his works that include the Jim Edwards Method, funnel scripts, author wizards, and much more, including his legendary book, Copywriting Secrets, and his new project, copyandcontent.ai. Jim, how are you doing today? Welcome to the session.
Hey, Vernon, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here, and this is going to be fun. And is this PGR? What's the rating on this? Just let me know up front.
No kids will be watching this. Please
Okay,
don't.
so I can drop F-bombs. I can say fantastic, things like that. Okay,
Exactly.
excellent.
Exactly.
All right.
Well, I mean, there's so much that we could talk about today, Jim, and your legacy and your work speaks for itself. But I think we can talk about specifically webinar copywriting, because that's who we have in the audience today. So if we kind of package this up in a framework, I think we could start with probably what I've heard you say is arguably one of the most important pieces of copywriting. It's like, don't go buy copywriting books, understand your avatar, and then apply those models. So
Absolutely.
do you still agree with that? Is that still true for you, or has anything changed?
I think it's more true than it's ever been, and I'll tell you why. Because everybody and their brother wants to do a webinar. Everybody and their brother wants to sell online. Everybody and their brother's an expert. Everybody and their brother can now use ChatGPT to create an avalanche of slightly above average content. And so everybody and their brother can get in the game. So if you don't know who your avatar is, if you don't know their hot buttons, if you don't know what's going to motivate them to buy, try, click, and sign up, if you don't know them better than they know themselves, you are hosed, because you're just going to be adding to the noise. And so the very first step in this process is knowing exactly who your avatar is. What are their hot buttons? And a lot of people say stuff like, oh, well, I know who my avatar is. Okay, Chuckles, who's your avatar? Well, it's a male between the ages of 37 and 45 who makes between $75,000 and $123,000 a year, has 2.2 wives and 1.3 kids. I always feel bad for the 0.3 kid. It's like little Timmy really got screwed on that one. And it's like, and they're like, dude, that's not an avatar. That is maybe to help you target a group who might have the hot buttons that are actually going to make them respond. Because where people get jacked up on the avatars, they think in terms of demographics, which are numbers. Those are measurable things like sex, of which there's only two, and then age, income, all kind of stuff like that. Right. But that doesn't make somebody respond. That doesn't connect with somebody emotionally. That doesn't make someone feel understood by you. What makes them feel understood is when you talk in terms of pain, desire, problems, questions, roadblocks, which is another way, that's my way of saying false beliefs. So you got this whole litany of internal and external things that's flying around in their head.
Sure.
That's when people say, you probably heard this before, enter the conversation already going on inside the mind of your prospect. If you hadn't heard that before, you heard it now. I don't remember who said it, maybe John Caples, but the bottom line is, this is what the conversation's about. It's about the pain, the desire, the problems, the questions, the roadblocks. That's what they're actually going to respond to. These are the building blocks that you're going to use to create the copy that's going to make them respond. And if you don't get laser focused in on your avatar, then you're going to have to be general in your copy, which is really going to suck when you're trying to get people to even sign up for the webinar, let alone get them to show up, let alone get them to convert, let alone get them to stick. You are just screwing yourself from the beginning if you don't know exactly who your avatar is in order to then use those hot buttons to write the copy that'll make them sign up.
And
That's
so,
a lengthy yes, Vernon.
and then and so the question becomes, and I know this may seem, basic stuff, but we're like, how do you get those conversations, right? Or is it sales calls? Is it research? Like in your experience, what's the best way to get those pain points and get inside people's head?
Well, typically, unless you're an idiot or you're a wannapreneur high on hopium, you either already know who your avatar is because you were that person in a previous life.
Mm-hmm.
So you were the person with the problem. You figured out how to solve the problem. Now you're turning around and showing people how to solve that problem.
Right.
Or someone you love that's close to you. I guess you can't see that on the screen. That's okay. Watch this. Boom. There you go. Someone who's close to you and you're helping them. So, great example, guy that I met almost 20 years ago. I was doing a conference in England. Met a guy who had a membership site for parents of autistic kids and how to navigate the education system and all kinds of stuff. He was doing some really cutting edge stuff. So obviously he didn't have autism, but he was helping his kid. And through that love, that was someone he was helping. He turned around and helped parents of those kids. So the answer is, you're not going to yank the avatar out of your butt. You better be selling to somebody you know something about. I'll tell you what, Vernon. I got a hot market for you, brother.
What's that?
All right, here it is, man. You know any women?
I do. My wife.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, brother. She's going to go through menopause. In fact, your mama's going to go through menopause. You got any sisters, aunties?
I do. Yeah.
Okay, they're all going to go through menopause. Every woman you meet is going to go through menopause, man. So I'm going to come up with a course on menopause and how to get through it. And I'm going to sell it to women because everybody's my potential audience. Now, here's the problem. I'm a 56-year-old dude. I'll never go through menopause. Despite what I'm being told in the woke media, there is no chance of me being able to experience menopause.
Sure.
More importantly, my story doesn't align with that avatar. So I'm immediately screwed. I'm not an MD. I'm not a nutrition. I have nothing. And you have these people, oh, what makes a good market? You know what makes a good market? A market that you actually were in or know a lot of people in, that you actually know how to sell, know how to solve their problems, and you can tell a story that makes sense to you while you're selling to that avatar, makes sense to the avatar while you're selling to that avatar, and at a really just knowing level, you know what their big pains are because you've actually talked to them, because you've interacted with them, because you've been there, because you can put yourself, you've lived it. Now, by the way, a really good thing that I keep using this example of, like, I should not make a kit for women, but brother, I survived menopause and I could probably write a husband's guide to surviving menopause. All right. That could work right there, but it would be such a short book. All it would say was, yes, honey, I'm sorry. And can I get you anything? Those are the only 3 things you can do to survive menopause. Okay. That's it. Everything else. Jay Conrad Levinson told me, he's a great dude. He wrote the guerrilla marketing books. And Jay was a mentor of mine early on, and then he and I eventually shared the stage a bunch of times. One time we were in Las Vegas. We were sitting in the back of a limo, and he had this great accent, and I won't even try and do it, but he's like, Jim, I got a friend. Because I do a lot with self-publishing and books and stuff. And he says, I got this friend that's got a best-selling diet book, man. I said, yeah, really? Who is it? And he told me. He said, but you know what? That book, it just comes down to two things. Eat 2 tablespoons of fiber every day and walk for 30 minutes. He just added 200 pages of bullshit. And it was just the way he said it, it was amazing. But the thing is, if you've been there, you know how to solve the problem, but you also know what to give them. You can give them what they want and give them what they need. But if you've never been there, you've never been there, done that, got the t-shirt, experienced it, felt the pain, felt the worry, felt the joy, you're not going to be able to talk in a way that's going to break through all the noise in the marketplace. Yep. So yeah, there's all kinds of stuff you can do to research. We got tools inside of copyandcontent.ai that we can define. You can define 55 data points on an avatar in about 20 minutes. You'll know them better than frickin' NORAD targeting nuclear sites in China and Russia and stuff. That's not the issue. But knowing about something is very different than having wisdom about something. And wisdom is what you're actually selling. That's it. Unless you got wisdom in that area, you got street cred, you got the understanding of the avatar, you got the story, all that other stuff. Dude, you're host. You're just one of many. You've seen it though, Vernon. Every once in a while, no matter how crowded the online space is, somebody shows up. Somebody appears out of nowhere. 1 minute you've never seen them before. And the next minute, they're freaking everywhere. They're on all the big podcasts. Their videos get 500,000 views, which really pisses me off, man. I haven't cracked that one yet. I'm just being real, man. I am not the YouTube guy, so I'll just tell you that right up front. But they just cut right through. And if you analyze why someone's able to do that, with everybody already out there doing it. Dude, I published my first ebook in 1997. I was one of the first people ever to publish an ebook, got written up in the New York Times, Entrepreneur Magazine, all kinds of stuff. The internet's been around for a while, but every once in a while somebody cuts right through. Why? Because they understand exactly who they are and exactly who they're out there to help, and their message and their story and their products and their books and everything is so aligned that everybody just, it parts like the Red Sea, dude. And everybody, they just walk right on down like they've been here this whole time. Why? Because they're aligned with their story and with their avatar and with their purpose and everything. And you also notice, this is kind of an aside, but it's not. Every time you see those people on every podcast, what is the number one thing the podcast interviewer or producer asks them to start with?
Their story.
Their story. And their story, they're telling the same story over and over and over, yet people will follow them across everything to hear them tell the story again in hopes of getting one more little nugget or jewel, one little more detail to fill in that amazing story. So if you want to get really good at connecting with people, get really good at knowing your avatar, but get really damn good at telling your own story. Because in the end, with AI, dude, I'm on a roll. I'm just going to tell you this. I'm telling everybody this. There is nothing new under the sun anymore with AI. AI is now the collective consciousness. AI knows it better than you do. Anything you could want to know, AI can either teach it better, explain it better, or bullshit it better than you can. All the stuff that used to set you, I'm going to do an article on the 10 ways to do this, or 3 reasons, and shit. AI can do it better, and I'll tell you what, our AI can do it better than ChatGPT. The only thing you have now is your soul. That's it. Let me explain what soul is. Soul is an acronym. This is it. You heard it here first. So the people that all ripped me off, screw you. This is mine. Soul comes down to stories. You got to be able to tell your own stories and other people's stories. You got to be able to tell a story better than anybody else. You got to be the dude that shows up like a cross between Dr. Seuss and Hugh Hefner. You had better get them excited. Everybody, hey, let me tell you all a quick story. Oh, hell yeah. People in the audience, man, grab the coffee. Maybe they're like the little kid, 5-year-old. You remember having a rug square in kindergarten? You didn't do that?
A little spot where you sat?
Yeah, you had to have your little spot where you sat. Sometimes it was a square on the rug. Sometimes you had a rug square you brought in. Okay, when I was a little kid, I guess we were all diseased or something. You had to come with a rug square from the rug store. And that was like your place that you sat, man. That was like your spot. And man, you get down, we're going to have graham crackers with this story. We're going to have milk. It's some kind of snack. Little Timmy brought snack. And it all had peanut butter in it too. Yeah, that's because back when you could eat peanut butter. So stories, man. That's the one thing ChatGPT can't steal from you is your own personal stories and experiences. The other thing, opinions. Dude, opinions that are worth listening to come from knowledge and experience. Don't give me your opinion just talking smack like you're the nightly news. If you're going to give me an opinion about something, you better be able to back it up with some experience, speaking from depth. Okay? Some sort of unique approach. Something unique, whether it's an interpretation, a thought, insight, all that stuff. And then the L in soul comes down to lessons. Again, what are lessons? Lessons are basically stories with a result. Let me say that again. Lessons are basically stories with a result. A lesson is a lesson learned, a lesson on how to get a result, a lesson on how to produce something. So that's kind of a little bit of a tangent. I hope that's okay. But again, I'm going to tell you what. Y'all trying to do these 7-figure, 8-figure webinars. I got a webinar out there that since 1997 has done almost $40 million in sales.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
It's not bad. Any chucklehead in the world can make a webinar now with AI.
Sure.
Oh, yeah, give me 3 secrets. Okay, hey, ChatGPT, could you expand on that? Oh, that's tremendous. Do you have a suggestion for a type of story I might be able to tell? Oh, okay, great. Can you take this really shitty pile of stuff and make it into an amazing stack that I can just talk for 30 minutes about that people will buy? Dude, whether it's good or not, any chucklehead can make a webinar, which means you're competing with more and more and more and more and more people. And if they do show up to your webinar within 5 minutes, if it sucks, they jet. Oh, I'll catch a replay. No, you won't. The only thing that's going to make your webinar worth listening to is the stories that you use, the opinions you share, some unique aspect, and some lessons on how to get the result. That's it. That's the only thing that's going to save us from AI. AI can, you want to write an article, AI write it quicker, better. Anything you want to do with AI can do it slightly above average, a lot quicker. Dude, I'm totally off track. Rein me in, Vernon.
Yeah, I was gonna say this. I mean, I was kind of letting you do your thing a little bit, but the hero's journey. I've often heard you talk about this, and this goes back to what you were saying with this, with the story, right? With understanding the avatar. Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I feel like in order for us to pull out the way that we would speak to the avatar and our ads and our copy, a lot of that comes down to, at least from what I've understand and learned from you and like Joseph Campbell's of the world, it's like this journey. So like, what does that entail, and how do we use that to basically get people to the webinar and then convert them on the webinar?
Okay, so the hero's journey, the purpose of the hero's journey is to answer 3 very important questions, okay? And that is, why you, why this, why now? Okay, so when someone comes on your webinar, they're like, okay, why the hell should I pay attention to you? Why is this relevant to me? And why should I do anything about this now? Just let's load that into your little short-term memory, okay? Because these are the 3 questions. If you don't answer these pretty quick, they're gone. Yep. All right? They're off to watch cute kitty videos on Facebook or porn or whatever they do, okay? Got to answer those 3 questions. So what is the hero's journey? The hero's journey is a type of story that you can tell that answers those questions. It's also been called an origin story. It's been called an epiphany bridge story. And the difference, you mentioned Joseph Campbell. He talks about the hero's journey as basically a full circle story where somebody has the call to adventure and then a bunch of bad shit happens and they go to the underworld and finally they come back and they return to where they originally thought they wanted to get, but they're transformed and then it just kind of continues. Okay, that's great for a movie. That doesn't help a lot to actually sell some people stuff. So the way I do the hero's journey is with an arc where you start out here and something happens, okay? You decide to do something. You decide you want to just whatever. Something happens. There's a decision. There's an event. You hear all these people, that go from rags to riches. Oh, I had to declare bankruptcy and blah, 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 blah. But it all turned out great. And so something happens. There's a decision made, and immediately there's a fall and a problem. Okay, doesn't seem that bad at first, but it's bad. Then it goes from bad to worse. Okay, I quit my job. I thought I was going to make a bunch of money in this MLM, and it turned out that the guy that recruited me kind of lied to me or exaggerated some stuff, and the stuff that I was trying to sell actually sucked ass, and now things really got bad. And I'm facing bankruptcy. I got no money to pay rent. Then something happens. There's some sort of decision. There's some sort of discovery. There's some sort of a chance meeting. Something happens to be the turning point. Then usually through minimized hard work, I busted my ass for a few months. You kind of gloss over that part. Yeah, okay.
Don't want to go too deep there, right?
Right. What happens is I eventually made it to where I thought I wanted to be. I got I got the present that I was looking for, that when I was over here, I was looking across and this is where I wanted to go, but I couldn't see that. But then, and this is the key, I realized that I had actually become so much more as a result. And I realized that that's a little Superman right there. I need to get you a wide screen. That's Superman. You realize that it wasn't this prize, but it was who you were going to become as a result.
The transformation.
And there's a transformation, and now your purpose is to turn back and help the people over here. Now watch how I do this. By building a bridge across the chasm in the form of your product, service, or offer, so that nobody has to experience the hell that you went through. So now we have answered in that course of that story, why you? Because I went through all this shit that you're about to go through. Why this? Because this is going to help you avoid all the crap. Why now? Because I'm going to help you get the thing you want a hell of a lot faster than you're going to do it here. That's why this is so important to be able to tell this story. Now, you can tell this story in about a minute, or you can tell this story over about 10 or 20 minutes, depending on, it's like an accordion. I tell everybody a story's like an accordion. You're too young to remember the Lawrence Welk show, but dude, on Sunday, that was it. You had the Lawrence Welk show and Hee Haw on right after Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom, okay? And Lawrence Welk had guys on that would play accordions, and it was really cool. But that accordion, no matter how wide it got or how small it got, it was still playing music that was really cool. And that's the thing with a story. If you tell the story, you can play it this wide and it still has the impact you want, or you can bring it all the way out here and really work it. But if you can't tell this story, that's why we bring it back to that menopause thing. Unless I can tell a story like this on a webinar, ain't nobody buying from me.
Right. Right. And that's from the wisdom of your experience. You don't get that. You don't get to tell that story without having the experience and the wisdom of going through it.
And the wisdom that really resonates with people is that you went through the pain so I don't have to. Because people don't want that pain. I suffered so you don't have to. So now you got a choice. Now I teach you a bunch of crap on my webinar, my 3 secrets, whatever. I like to use 5 questions now. That's my thing that's working real good.
What are the
Not 3 secrets, because everybody, whoa, brother, come on now. Let me finish this part.
Jumping the gun. Go ahead.
But if I don't do this, okay, nothing else matters.
Yep.
If I don't prove that I've been there, done that, got the t-shirt, nothing else I do matters. Nothing. Okay? Nothing. Nothing matters. That's the kicker. This is the first gate you got to get people through. So that's why you got to be able to tell this hero's journey story, the epiphany bridge, the origin story, whatever you want to call it. Your magical carpet ride of transformation.
Yeah, that's I mean, I love how it sells the transformation, because it taps into that emotion that we often talk about in marketing, right? People make decisions based on purchasing decisions based on buying, and then they justify it with logic.
I think what a better way of saying this is it scares the shit out of them, and they want the result, but it scares the shit out of them that they'll have to do that.
Yeah.
And they don't want to do that.
Yeah.
This speaks to the inner 5-year-old. That, I mean, you know, the conversation, all that. Yeah, we can talk all that. I got a degree in history, just barely, okay, from a little college down the road from you called William and Mary. All right. I majored in fraternity, beer, and getting through class so I could continue with the fraternity and the beer. What I learned early on with a bunch of drunken idiots in a fraternity house, and it's pretty much served me well throughout life, is that people need a self-serving benefit to do anything. And they are more motivated by fear of pain than they are promise of a great payoff. But if you can scare the crap out of them and promise them an easy solution to getting what they want, you will have their rapt attention. That's just human nature, man.
Love it. Love it. What about, so is this where we transition to, once you're done telling your story, you transition into or what would be the content or the 3 secrets?
Whoa, why you say content, man? Why you doing this like, oh, it's not really content? Dude, it's content.
It's content, but I feel like a lot of people just, you know, they fluff it up with nothing.
Oh, you mean they hand people a bunch of BS and then wonder why people don't buy? They actually don't give them anything useful?
Exactly.
Huh. Well, the problem is that most people can't understand the difference between 2 very distinct types of information. Okay? And it's what to, why to, versus how to. This is group 1, what to, why to, and how to. And the problem is that people don't want to give how to, so they don't understand what they should give instead. So the neat thing is that what to, why to, what to do. What's the difference between how to information and what to information?
How to, showing them exactly how to get, not exactly how to get the result, but showing them how to do something. And the what to is explaining what it is, and the why to explaining why you should.
Okay.
Close? Off?
Close. Difference between what to information and how to information is the skill level of the listener. And so if I tell you, hey, dude, if you really want to make money on your webinars, the number one thing you need to do is set up your autoresponder so that you automatically send at least 2 reminder emails to everybody who signs up, and then have a total of 5 emails, 5 specific emails you need to send after the webinar is over. And these are the types of emails you need to send. You need to send a day before warning and an hour before warning to the people that already sign up. And then the 5 emails you need to send are immediately after. You need to say, hey, this is amazing. And we need, we'll have the replay up tomorrow, but if you missed the offer, go here to get it. Next day, you're going to have the replay. Third email, you're going to have a replay with also the offer of basically a Cliff's Notes or an executive summary plus a recap of the offer. Fourth day, you're going to have a recap of the offer, a clean sweep of whatever they can go watch. It's disappearing. It's going away tomorrow. Next day comes, then you're going to have, fifth email is actually 3 emails. It's, hey, today's the last day. Don't want you to miss out. Second email that day is, hey, it's closing at midnight. And then the third one is closing at midnight. You need to load all those up ahead of time. Got it, Vernon? Can you do that?
I mean, I could do it, but
okay, dude, stop. You could do it, right?
Right.
So I just gave you how-to information.
Right.
Okay? Somebody else who's listening, they're like, oh, that sounds really cool. How do I write those in? And then it just starts with the litany of shit. How do I write the emails? What's in the emails? How long should they be? What's the thing? Where the and they get that whole huffy puffy thing. That's when you know the difference between what to and how to. However, if I'm smart on my webinar, whether you have the whether it's what to or how to info for you, I'm going to give you I'm going to sell you a tool to write those emails for you. So now if that was what to information for you, you're like, oh, thank Jesus. I don't have to learn how to write this stuff. I just plug in the stuff into copyandcontent.ai and it will automatically generate an 11 email follow-up sequence. Holy crap. And Jim just told me that if I want to get a good copywriter to write this stuff for me, I'm going to pay at least $100 to write the emails, but I might know somebody on Fiverr for $50, but 50 times 110, times 11, that's $550 just doing that one time. Holy crap, but I could use his, and I'm smarter than Jim. So I could use his tool. I bet I could maybe do this as a service for other people. So now all of a sudden, the guy that was what to is like, hell yeah, I'll take that tool. But now here's the kicker. I haven't even gotten to the why to yet, okay? But the kicker is Vernon's like, well, crap, I know how to do that, but that's a huge pain in the ass. How long is it going to take you to write all those emails, Vernon? Even though you know what you're doing, how long would it take you to write them emails?
A week.
For real? Okay.
Maybe less with a.
Okay. With the right amount of caffeine and
I'm
time off.
Obviously using AI. I'm not going to be just writing those from pure.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. So now if I demonstrate a tool that you see that you're like, oh crap, because you think you're smart. Okay, I'm going to use AI. But then I show you a side-by-side comparison of my tool versus ChatGPT, because that's what most people do. Anybody that says they have AI actually just has ChatGPT. And if you want to add just as an aside, if you want to add ChatGPT to your product so you can say that your product is AI enabled, go to Fiverr, do a search for ChatGPT chatbot, and you can find somebody in India or Bangladesh or somewhere that will literally set you up a chatbot to integrate with your service product membership for $100. And then you just pay $20 a month to OpenAI to be able to legitimately say, I have AI integrated with my product. Now, granted, it's just a chatbot, and a chatbot is only capable of giving you back as good as you can put in, and that means you're just going to help people create slightly better than average, whatever it is. Okay? So I'm going to demonstrate my tool side by side with ChatGPT and show you how, you just define your avatar one time. Then you go to my AI Genie to write these follow-ups. You load your avatar, so now y'all got those hot buttons done. Then you just put in the info about your offer and your webinar, and now it's creating emails filtered through the mind of Jim Edwards based on your avatar, based on your offer, based on the writing style, based on the tone, based on the perspective, all these things where we dial it in. So now all of a sudden, instead of screwing around for a week, even if you're using AI, in about an hour, all your emails are not only done, but they're edited and they're loaded into your system. So now Vernon's like, well, shit, I know how to do that, but that tool looks pretty good. Now here's the kicker though. I'm teaching you what to, why to, because I'm only just doing the what to. You were deciding, oh, that's how to. That's good stuff. But now I want to use this tool because I know how hard it is. So now the why to. This is the kicker. This is where you explain why you have to do something, why it's important, why, what's the psychology behind this type of follow-up? Why is it important to follow up? Why you're going to fail if you don't do it? Why? And they're like, well, shit. That's good stuff. So he's teaching me something. He's also teaching me why it's important. Oh, and I'm going to throw in a story to illustrate the point. So what have I done? I've also 3 different ways reinforced whatever point I'm trying to make at that stage of my webinar. Y'all picking up what I'm throwing down here? Okay. Yeah. So instead of ramming it down their throat and trying to make them drink from a fire hose, I pick very specific things I want them to understand. In this case, why follow-up's important and what you need to do to follow up the right way, what to do, story of why to do it, demo of how to do it, what it looks like, or better yet, what it is, why to do it, story about it, and a demo of a tool to use to do it. And if I really want to punch you in the face, I'll show you the manual way to do it, or show you an overview of the manual way. Just like I asked you, how long would it take you to write all those emails? Take a week? Let me ask you a question. How many hours do you think it would take? 10 hours, 12 hours total?
Yeah, probably something like that. Probably a little bit more. 15.
Okay, let's say 10 hours just because I suck at math, okay? What's your billable rate, Vernon?
We charge $25K to build out a webinar. So.
Okay, I'm not worried about charging $25K to build out a webinar, bro.
You could just say $1,000 an hour or something.
$1,000 an hour. So if you were to take 10 hours to write these emails, then that opportunity cost, that cost of Vernon's time to the universe is $10,000. Right? What if it was only $100 an hour? It's still $1,000. Great news, Vernon. I can get you access to this tool and 70 more just like it to write your sales letters, all your other email follow-ups, all your ads, your even entire presentations with the slide decks.
Wow.
For about $1,000 for the year. Hey, let's move on to the next secret now, Vernon. Dude, that's what I'm saying. Everybody's like just trying to not give anything but simulate giving something. It's like, screw that. Give them exactly what to do. Explain exactly why to do it. Give them a good story that illustrates it. Show them the hard way to do it and then sell them a tool. Well, what if I'm selling like services and stuff? Great. Show them the manual way to do it, and then that's why you want to hire somebody. More on that in a minute. But if you're going to give away your stuff in the webinar, if you're afraid you're going to give away your stuff and they won't need to buy from you, then you suck as a human being and you need to reevaluate what you're doing in business. Seriously, you absolutely suck at business if that's killing you, because somebody needs to teach you the right way to set all this stuff up. You're not doing it right. I mean, I hate to be so blunt, but it's true. You're jerking around trying not to teach somebody. You're trying not to teach someone who doesn't even want to be there in the first place. How is that going to draw them to you and make them want to pay attention to you? You got to give them stuff that they're like, you know what? I ain't worried about Seinfeld reruns. I'll catch that on the DVR. I like what this guy's saying. Other thing you got to do is have a story that polarizes people. Your story should polarize people. Love me, hate me, there's no money in the middle.
No money in the middle.
Yep, no money in the middle. I remember exactly where I was. I was at a mastermind meeting, February 2003. I was sitting at a table. A guy named Matt Fury was speaking. It was a true mastermind. He gets up, he looked me, big, imposing dude, man. Sells like self-defense, wrestling stuff. He looks at me and he's like, I bought your book. It's really good. You're not charging nearly enough money for it. I was like, yes, sir. First words out of his mouth were, love me, hate me. There's no money in the middle. You better make people make a decision about you. 21 years ago, a little over 21 years ago, that advice changed my life. Come on, Vernon, you keep letting me get out of control here.
No.
Get control of your subject.
I'm taking it all in. So the 5 questions, was that part of the why and the what?
No, 5 questions. The 5 questions is how you organize your webinar.
Okay. And is that something that you're going to show us, or do we need that now at this point? Or are we skipping that?
Well, that wasn't why we were talking about webinar copy. I'm not the guy that's teaching people how to do the webinar stuff. You had me for the copy, man.
Yeah,
Come on now.
We got you for the copy. So
we gotta stay on this.
So I've given them the what to, I've given them the
You've given them the what to, the why to.
This.
You've told the story to back up each main point that you want to do.
Right, and then I'm transitioning to the close, the pitch.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You want to know the five questions thing?
Sure.
Okay. It's real simple. All right. Figure out the result that you want to get, that they want to get. Figure out the result that you're selling. Okay. Then what are the 5 main objectives? Not objectives, objections. Okay. Typically, by the way, objections are going to revolve around knowledge, skill, resources, support, and one other big worry or objection. So, and I'm not gonna spend a ton of times on this, but it's figure out the big results you're selling. This is the result they'll show up and watch the webinar because they really want to get this result. That's part of the avatar. If you don't know the big result that will make them show up, crawl across barbed wire to be able to find out the answer, then keep working on it. Okay. Then figure out what their 5 main objections are around knowledge, skill, resources, support, and something else. There's always one other kicker. Okay. So, I don't know how, I don't know how, I don't have. What if I get stuck and there's something else? It's some other inner 5-year-old thing. Okay. That's called knowing your avatar. So then what you do is you convert these into questions. So, I don't know how to write copy. Question becomes, how can you write professional copy without being a copywriter? So now I convert all of these into questions, and then the webinar is the 5 questions you need to answer if you want to get this result. So then we convert the objection into the question. The question is what you use. I'm going to tell you 3 secrets to doing this. Yeah, bullshit. Everybody's so sick of that bullshit now, okay? Because they know it's a pitch. Yep. But if you actually say, here are the questions we got to answer, okay? And I shouldn't be doing this. But remember I said, you want to give them the idea, elaborate on the idea, tell some stories, give some examples, and then wind it all up. The way you can do this at the very beginning, here are the 5 questions that we got to answer. And that means we got to go through 5 steps. And all you do on the next slide is take those 5 questions and convert them over to steps. So now I have given my 5 things twice in 2 slides. So it's, how can you write professional copy without being a professional copywriter? Then it might be, the first step is create copy without being or hiring a professional copywriter. That's the first step. So now I'm going to give them the 5 questions. I'm going to give them to them right up front too. I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm going to reveal these as we go along. Hell no, because you got to hook them and keep them. Yeah. So here are the 5 questions. Then here are the 5 steps. And then each of those 5 steps, I go through. I have the step is on a slide. I have a quote from a famous person that backs up the idea. And then I introduce the idea for that step, elaborate on it a little bit. Examples, stories, illustrations, some sort of a quick demo, wrap it up, move it on, okay? The demo is important. Now, a demo can be a whole bunch of different things. A demo can be actually a physical demo. That's part of the reason why I'm telling you all this stuff is because my software makes all this so much easier, okay? I mean, it's down to the point now, I'll just give you the shit for free. Alex Hormozy in his book, $100 Million Offers, great quote. I feel like getting it tattooed on my wrist. And it's give away the secrets, sell the tools. Mm-hmm. Give away the secrets, sell the tools. Okay? So the tools, though, it might be software. It might be templates. It might be a service. It might be coaching. It's something that helps them to go through that step quicker. But you notice I'm not hooking, there's secrets. That's bullshit. There aren't any secrets anymore. They're not. It's bullshit. It pisses me off. Okay? Because it's nonsense. But what there are questions that need answering and steps that need taking in order to get a result. That's how normal people talk when they're not wannapreneurs high on hopium. Okay? So, honest to God, dude, then we get to the stack. Then we get to the thing. All right? So now we run through the 5 things. Why 5? Because I got to have more than 3. Because 3 is bullshit. Okay? Because everybody's waiting for there to be 3. Plus, you can't solve all my problems in 3. Anything, can you?
No.
No way, Vernon. It's bullshit.
Yeah.
It's not 3 strikes and you're out. Okay? So the magic number I've found is 5. Okay, because 5 people can still kind of keep them all in RAM, especially if you keep reminding them, hey, this was step 1, this step 2, this step 3. And plus, when you do it in steps, then people are like, well, shit, they're really teaching me something. You see what I mean? Yeah. That's where that what to, the how to, all that other stuff comes in. Yeah, I'm like really revealing something here, just by the way, okay?
You're dropping the gems.
So that's why you do it that way. That's why they're structured that way, because now they're like, damn, he's really teaching me something. Now, I don't know how to do that, but I guess it's because I'm stupid. But maybe he'll have something cool he can sell me to help me do this, because he keeps demonstrating this cool stuff. By the way, a demo can also be a customer testimonial or something, demoing that this is possible. Okay. So there's a bunch of different stuff you can do for demo. So now, pitch is pretty straightforward. I know that there are a lot of different people that talk about the stack, okay? Like I said, I think I said at the beginning, if you cut me in half and counted the internet rings, there would be like 150 rings in there. Dude, I've been around since the 1900s doing this, okay? Doesn't that sound jacked up? But it's true. I've been around since the 1900s, all right? The guy who invented the stack, as far as I know, the first one I ever saw do it, was a guy named Armin Morin. Armin Morin invented the stack. He taught the stack in like 2004, 2005 at a conference called Speaker X. Now, everybody and their brother has kind of laid claim to it, but I just want to set the rules straight, okay? And the stack is basically, you got to figure out what's your offer. And your offer has one big thing. Okay? The offer has one big thing that gives one big result. And then it has a series of bonuses that eliminate objections. Remember, what are the main categories of objections? Knowledge, skill, resources, support, and some other big bugaboo. So what you do is you have the big thing that promises to get them the big result. And then you tell them all about it in a way that's going to get them excited. And then you tell them, but wait, there's more. Maybe you say that, maybe you don't. I love to say that. By the way, my heroes are like Billy Mays and Anthony Sullivan and Ron, the Ronco guy, all those dudes, Ron Popeil. So then what you do is you say, okay, but also you might be worried about this. So that's why we've got this. Now you might be worried about this, and that's why we've got bonus number 2. So that means you're going to get the big thing to get the big result, plus you're going to get bonus number 2, bonus number 1, bonus number 2. Now, you might be worried about this, so we got this. You might be worried about this, so we got this. So that means you're going to get the big thing. You're going to get this, 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 and this. And finally, this is the thing that you might even be, you get kind of quiet, okay? You might even be ashamed to admit to yourself. And it's okay, because I've been there. I've been exactly where you are. And this is the kind of thing you might not even say to your wife or your husband or something, but the fear of this or the worry about this, okay? Man, I don't have a list. I don't have my thing. Let me tell you what. I'm going to do something for you, but you got to take action now. You do this, and you're also going to get this. So in the past, I've done stuff like, if you go through this and actually complete it, create your course, I will send out in my newsletter, I will send out a blurb about your course in my newsletter. Will go out to 80,000 people.
Wow.
What does that overcome? A whole lot of shit. Yeah. Okay.
Impressive.
But they're like, oh my God, you would do that? Hell yeah, I'll do that. I'll prove to everybody that people actually use my stuff and get it done. Would love to do that. Because, and I'll even do it without an affiliate link. What? Yeah, because, dude, you got your menopause product. I can't sell anybody that. So I'm going to make a lot more money from the credibility of telling people that you got your menopause product done than I can of being, buy through menopause.com/Jim. So I'm creating that win-win-win-win-win. Holy shit.
It's a holy shit bonus.
Yeah. But why shouldn't you? Why would you be stingy at this point? They sat through your frickin' webinar. They're looking at your thing. And this is where you pull out the thing like, holy crap, I gotta say yes. And then you recap the thing, throw it all up there on the slide. There you go. This is what you got. This is how much it is. This is how long it's good for you. You got to have some kind of a cutoff. Now, you can't do the cutoff. You got 2 more minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. So, first big course I ever sold, first big one, this is 2003, I actually paid my house off. Okay. I was bankrupt, living in a trailer park, moved out, 18 months later, paid my house off. I made one really big error. To create the urgency and scarcity, I said, you got to buy by Thursday night because I'm never, ever going to sell this course again. And so I sold enough. I needed $72,000. I sold $77,000 worth of stuff. Now, this is 2003 when money was worth something, dude. Okay? And that night, I was excited. The next morning, I was pissed because I realized I had just put together an amazing offer that probably could have made me $1 million, but because I used a shitty urgency, I wasn't depressed that I'd paid my house off, but I was kind of pissed. So I learned a very valuable lesson. So I don't do that anymore. I've never done that since. Okay. I did it once, but it was for a $3,000 thing.
So you're basically not able to sell the course again because you...
Never could sell it again because if I was going to be true to my word. Now, I've seen plenty of people in this world that violate that. Oh, we'll never sell this again. Then they open it up again next week because their friend emailed them and begged them to do it. You've seen those. Yeah. So, but the key is that you hit it fast. You don't have to beat the shit out of them for 30 minutes on this thing. Because if you've established the value, established that they really want the result, you've demonstrated throughout that you're capable of getting the result not only for yourself, but for other people. And now the big thing obviously is going to get it for them. And then you have eliminated all the primary objections. And then you do a holy shit one at the end. Holy crap. And then you just sum it up and say, what you going to do? But what you can do is, instead of saying, I'm not going to do this anymore, you could say something like, I've only got a limited number of spots to be able to do this because I can't send out emails every freaking, day of the week. So you've got to respond to this by this date. And I got to take it down because I don't want to have so many people that I can't fulfill on that.
Got it.
Some kind of a reason why they have to do it by a certain date, and then your email sequence counts it down for you automatically in your autoresponder. Bob's your uncle. There you go.
It's beautiful, man. Bravo. Ladies and gentlemen,
sure.
The legend.
I don't know about that.
Jim
but
Edwards,
that was,
ladies and gentlemen.
I hope that was helpful.
Oh, no, it was good. I love how you called out the people who do the 3 secrets, though. Yeah, it's like there's no. Yeah, everybody. It's overused, right? Everybody's seen it. My wife knows what webinars are. She actually is funny because she'll actually go on. The other day, she was like, "Hey, I'm jumping on this this call. I'm pretty sure it's a webinar. I'll let you know what the pitch is and the 3 secrets." And she's not a marketer, right? So that's just how I don't want to saturate it, but that's just how much.
No, it's saturated.
That's how much
it's saturated. The technique is saturated. People know. It's like a magic trick that everybody knows. As soon as everybody knows the magic trick, it's like, what are you going to do? It's like, hey, watch this. I'm going to make this patch disappear. You ready? Here it goes. You ready? Ready? Ta-da.
It doesn't work anymore. Yeah.
No. Yeah. No, it doesn't. So that's what I'm saying. But that's the only, it doesn't work anymore, but yet everybody's still like putting their whole hopes and dreams and everything in doing that.
Sure.
Now, if you're going after people that don't know any better, sure. But the people are, plus here's the thing. And then I guess we got to wrap this up. That technique might still work, but it doesn't work as well as it used to because I think people's information absorption habits have changed as well. And they won't sit still for that in the same percentages that they used to. That's probably a better way of saying it.
Yeah, I agree with that. We live in the TikTok generation, right? Everybody wants it quick, fast. They don't have a lot of time. So you got to account for that. And this is,
and they still love stories though.
Yeah. And I think like, one of the concepts we're pioneering is this, we call it an interview webinar, and it's perfectly aligned to this day and age because people will sit on a podcast for hours, right? They listen to Joe Rogan, they listen to the Breakfast Club. And when you're telling your story, it opens people up, right? A lot of the things that I heard today reinforce why we should be focusing on that.
And one thing I would tell you, if you really want to get good at that really fast, go back and study what we were doing in 2000, 2001 on teleseminars, because a teleseminar was a webinar interview. And that was the thing. Hey, you want to do a teleseminar? Hey, you want to do a teleseminar? It was just basically an interview. I sold $3 million worth of a video course with a teleseminar.
Wow. Yeah. That's epic, man.
So, I'm just saying that's it. Everything kind of repeats itself. So the 3 secrets will come back around in the 2050s. It'll come back around because now we're doing teleseminars. And that's what a podcast is, a freaking teleseminar.
Yeah, totally. This has been great, Jim. We've learned so much here from you today, from the avatar to the soul to the why you, why this, why now, to using the bridge to kind of show people that you have the solution. You're the superhero to take them on that journey without them going through the pain. We talked about the offer stack. We talked about the holy shit bonus. I love that. Don't say you're never going to sell your course again. Good tip. Thank you for that. You paid off the house, but yeah. Is there anything else that I didn't ask about that you think people should know? And also, I didn't ask you this, but I'll put you on the spot. would you be willing to give the people access to a bonus? Maybe it's content and copy.ai or something that you have in the archives that we can give to the people that upgrade to the VIP. Would you be open to doing something like that?
Yeah, we'll talk about something.
Cool.
Yeah.
And then anything else that I should have asked you?
Yeah, you should ask me, how can people put this into action? And I would say, put something on your calendar and have a date for when you're going to be doing your webinar. Because until you have a date and people that are going to show up, you're just going to jerk around and you're not going to do it. And that goes for whether you've done webinars before or not. The only way the webinar gets done is you pick a date and hold yourself accountable to it.
100% agree with that. Jim, if the people want to check you out, they want to find out what you're up to, where can they do that? Where can they check out what you're working on?
Head on over to copyandcontent.ai.
Beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be a wrap. Thank you for checking it out. If you want to get access to the VIP pass, the bonuses, the recordings, everything that we talked about here today, make sure you upgrade. Click that button below. Once it goes away forever. And thanks again, Jim, for joining us today, man. This has been excellent.
Thanks for having me.